And I want to share a brief story tonight. It's pretty amazing that the Jewish people have been singing these songs and saying these prayers for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. We are the inheritors of a very ancient tradition. And one of the things we learn in this ancient tradition throughout the centuries is to be grateful for nature and the trees and the birds and the animals that surround us. Our tradition reminds us not to take these for granted and to protect the earth. And so we actually have a holiday called Tu B'Shvat, a celebration of the trees that happens this month. And so after services, many of our students will be going for dinner, and our youth group learning program, which will celebrate Tu B'Shvat, the new year, celebrating the trees. And so tonight during our service, I thought I'd share a brief story about a little seed that wanted to be a tree. You see, the seed had big dreams to be a tree, but it was very small and unsure of its place in the world. And so this seed would often ask itself, what am I meant to be when I grow up? Well, one day, a wise old tree whose branches touched the sky noticed the little seed. And the big tree said, "Why do you look so puzzled, little seed?" And the seed said, "Because, big tree, I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. Am I going to be a flower? Am I going to be a bush? Am I going to be a big tree like you?" And the old tree smiled and said, "You are meant to be exactly what you need to be. Everything in nature has a purpose, and you will find yours in time. But for now, the journey must begin below the earth. You must trust the soil and the sun and the rain, and you're going to grow." And the little seed listened and thought about the old tree's wise words. Now, that little seed wasn't sure how to begin, but it knew that the beginning had to start with trust. And guess what? Eventually, that little seed did grow. It grew into a little sprout that pushed into the earth, and the sprout could feel the soil underneath it. And slowly it broke through the earth and reached towards the sunlight. And at that moment, the little seed was no longer a little seed. It was a little sprout. And with each season, the little sprout grew and grew, taller and stronger, and the birds were now flying above it, the squirrels playing below it, the flowers blooming around it. And the little sprout realized something very important, and that was that it wasn't alone, that everything in nature had a purpose and was connected. The trees had spoken to it, the flowers, the birds, the rain, all of it was part of the same world, working together to create great beauty. Now, over time, that little sprout grew into a big sprout and then into a young tree. It had thick leaves that would flutter in the wind, and its roots reached deep into the earth. And one day, the old tree spoke to it again and said, "Look at you now. You're a big tree, strong and wise. You've grown and flourished, just as I did in every tree before us. And now you too will help others. Your seeds will one day grow into big trees, just as you did." And at that moment, the young tree smiled and said to the old tree, "Thank you for teaching me everything I needed to grow, and that my place in the world was waiting for me." And the tree stood tall, knowing that its journey was part of something much bigger. That tree knew that it had purpose, and that its purpose was to bring beauty into the world. And I share that story with you this evening Because on Tu B'Shvat, our holiday for the trees, we learn that each one of us has a role to play to bring beauty into the world, especially in difficult times. And I'm going to call some of these moments we're experiencing in the world difficult times. And we, each one of us, have a role to play, and that's to bring great beauty into the world. Sometimes when the skies darken, we have to be patient, though, and begin to ask ourselves the question, which is what I hope we'll do this evening, the question, what kind of tree do we hope to be? Because we all have a role in the world, every single one of us. And Judaism instructs us through our holidays and our tradition to wrestle with that question and, God willing, find an answer, because it's there for each and every one of us. So I'm glad you're all here this evening. Happy Tu B'Shvat and Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom. Yesher Koach. Join me in this wordless melody. Yanai, yanai, nai, 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 yanai, yanai, nai, 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 nai. Yanai, yanai, nai, 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 yanai, nai, 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 nai. Let's try it. Yanai, yanai, nai, 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 yanai, yanai, nai, 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 nai. Yanai, yanai, nai, 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 yanai, yanai, nai, nai, nai. From the Psalms, the words, Tzadik katamar yifrach. May the righteous ones in our community start from a sprout to a bigger sprout to a little tree and grow up tall and strong. Tzadik katamar yifrach. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizgeh. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizgeh. May the good inside you grow, strong as the tallest palm tree. May your heart always know this is the place for you and me. May your roots surely go through the earth and become what you can be. Nanai, yanai, 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 yanai. You got it. Yanai, 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 yanai. Tzadik katamar, tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizgeh. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizgeh. May the good inside you grow, strong as the tallest palm tree. May your heart always know this is the place for you and me. May your roots surely go through the earth and become what you can be. Yanai, 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 yanai. Yanai, 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 yanai.